Welcome into the DML Network. It's your boy Expert, and this is the third annual The Grind. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly Madden 20 edition. And I got an all-star crew here with me on the DML Network tonight. First up, the owner of those Miami Dolphins, Mr. Tightwork. What's going on, Tight?
Hey, I'm good, sir. How about yourself?
All right, man. We're doing good. Other than the Cowboys took a beat down today, but other than that, we good.
Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah, it was. Don't start, Tightwork. Next up, it's the owner of those Arizona Cardinals, the air raid offense over there in the NFC, Mr. Sweets 99. What's going on, Sweets?
What's up, man? Let's go with you.
Hey, man, let's get it. And then I got a special guest, a guy I love doing shows with, one of the OGs in this community, one of the most down-to-earth guys in the Madden community that you can talk to. He's there to help anybody if you just ask him. It's none other than Shop Master himself. What's up, Shop?
What's good? Other than seeing my Redskins lose, it was great seeing the Cowboys lose as well.
Yeah, I think Jay Gruden's just trying everything he can to get fired. I think he's trying to see how far he can go before they take his keys from him.
They need to take his keys. I was actually happy. I mean, I knew they were going to lose, but I just hope he gets fired.
I don't know how he's not fired already. He's got to be the worst coach in the NFL. The decisions that he's making, but
he makes no adjustment, but
none.
I regress.
And then you get a guy like AP that runs the ball well, and then y'all never give him the ball back. It's like take him out the game.
He has his personal favorites, and he doesn't.
And those personal favorites are horrible. But we're here to talk about Madden 20.
Yes.
And so let's start Shop with the good part of Madden 20. So what in Madden 20 that we got this year versus previous versions that we've seen in Madden would you say is the good thing about this version?
I would say gameplay is better. And I mean, that's just, look, when we talk about Madden and we talk about, what's good, especially when we talk about franchise stuff, you got to talk about, it all begins with the gameplay. If gameplay is bad, then all modes are going to be bad. I don't care what mode you're playing on, it's going to be bad. So I do believe that the gameplay is much better. It still has a lot of flaws, but to me, I like the gameplay better than Madden 19.
What would you say about the gameplay is better? Are you more so maybe the linebackers aren't jumping out the sky? Running is better. I mean, obviously we know running is better. It's actually overpowered at this point. But what part of gameplay would you say is the one thing that sticks out in your mind that says this is definitely better than we saw in Madden 19?
Well, here's what I'll say, especially for a franchise, and it may be different when we're talking about some of the other modes, but superstars are superstars. There's no doubt about who the superstars are on the team. And in previous versions of Madden, you could take a 65 overall linebacker and he can just be the best player on the field. And that is not the case this year, especially since they took out, the super duper leaping linebackers. So to me, that's just the biggest difference. And I know people have their opinion about superstar abilities and X factors and everything, but to me, in franchise mode, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and that's funny that you bring up, that 65 overall player can't come in and dominate. We were actually having this conversation the other day in chat about a backup quarterback, and when you lose that starter, how much a difference you see in tight work. Would you say that's one of the biggest differences maybe is the skill, the ratings adjustment that they did, the ratings levels that they did where your superstars, and then that backup guy, he's going to struggle when he steps in?
No, I wouldn't say it's ratings. I'll say it's the abilities, to piggyback off what Chop said. The abilities make a big difference, but the ratings, you can't tell a bigger difference than last year from a 65 to a 75 this year, because in previous Mads, they was all the same. You get a fast guy with a little bit of something, you can run around, he's a stud. Now, you have to work a little bit to make that 65 look like a stud.
Yeah. What else would you say in Madden 20 tight work that you've seen that you would say is the good part of this game versus what we've seen maybe in 18 and 19?
as far as me being a franchise guy, only franchise, the abilities, the abilities change the game. Like as a perfect example, I drafted the Dolphins in the top 10, and in previous Maddens, I can dominate and still do good with them and make Dolphins look like they can actually a football team, an NFL team.
Yeah.
This year was a struggle. I only had one guy with the ability, a corner, Xavier Howard, and he balled out. He got interceptions and whatnot. But the rest of the team, without no abilities, you can tell every game was a struggle, and you notice it. So my good this for Madden 20 right now is the abilities.
All right, Sweets. We got abilities. We got the rating spread. What else about Madden 20 would you say is good?
Ah, man. See, I was just going to take all the good topics.
Yeah,
huh?
absolutely.
All right, well, man, honestly, I'm going to hit you with the gameplay, bro. I honestly enjoy playing the game this year. Last Madden, I mean, the dive tackling, the super crazy linebackers jumping out of nowhere. I mean, that is out of the game, it seems. And so I enjoyed that I can hit the hole with my running back and not have to worry about getting caught from behind 20 yards down the field by a DT. You know what I mean? Just the gameplay, it's fun. It's better to, I mean, it feels better to load up the game and actually get going. You know what I mean? And you know, I love to piggyback on what you guys have already said is the ratings. The ratings matter. If you have a good team, your guys supposed to dominate bad teams, and we see that as we've been playing this whole league this whole year, that good teams have been playing good like they're supposed to, and bad teams have struggled. You know what I mean? If your old line is a 68 going up against Aaron Donald. What do you expect? So you have to adjust instead of waiting on them to fix something, to patch something, to make it easier for you to do it. You actually have to adjust and figure out a way to get game plan around these big superstars.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing for us franchise guys is now everything really does matter. Who you draft, who you scout in free agency, the guys that you pick up. In previous Maddens, you just pick up the fastest guy, or you pick up the guy with the best strength. And now you have to really look at these guys and actually look at your scouting report a lot better than you did last year or the year before that. And so I think with those abilities, with the rating spread, those things are important in a franchise, especially for guys like us. And like you say, the big teams are playing well. The 49ers they have a good team. The Packers, the Cowboys, you got the Texans on the other side, the Chargers. All these good teams are still fighting for that first Super Bowl. So you see teams that have those X factors, have the abilities, that are really excelling in the game. And then we'll start to see some of these other teams as we get draft after draft after draft. We'll start to see those guys really step up. All right, now the bad part. And Tight Work, I'm going to go to you first. What's not the worst thing? Because we'll get to that when we get to the ugly. Well, what's something that's bad in Madden 20?
The hidden rookies. They say it's fixed, but man, how can you throw it in there, amp it up to be this new franchise changing thing, and then it doesn't work right? You got rookies that's between the star, superstar, and whatnot, right? And then you got the player count, and you get up to 400 plays, and then you log in the next day, and you back down to 0. That's the bad for me being that's all I do is franchise. Yeah, it's to be hyped up about this rookie. Okay, I know it, and then they should have did a better job of hiding it too, because they hidden, but you can go see what they are right now.
Yeah, it's not hidden.
Yeah, so they not hidden.
It's only hidden if you're lazy.
Yeah, and if you it says hidden, and you got a superstar, and you waiting to use his abilities.
Yeah.
And then you get the 400 and whatever plays, and then you come back at a 0, and you got to wait to the end of the season before you can use those abilities. It's tragic.
That's rough. That's rough.
That's my bad, man. Don't sell me on something that's going to be franchise changing, and then it doesn't work.
And Shop, do we see it a lot where, from Madden to Madden, we get a new feature, and maybe that feature, it sounds really good, but it's not developed 100%, and it's not ready to actually go in this Madden. It actually should have waited another cycle, maybe.
See, y'all really trying to get me in trouble here, right? I've been harping on this for years, and it's something that really frustrates me because it shouldn't be this way. I mean, I remember when they talked about when Rex was like, "Oh, we got draft boards this year. We put in a draft board for you guys," but it really is not a draft board. It's just a placeholder where you can just select guys you want the computer pick, but it's not a true draft board.
Wow.
And then what happens? It never gets updated. It's been the same draft board since the beginning. And that's what's frustrating, because they say, like you said, there are these new features, but they're not really fully fleshed out. They're a good
cosmetic
idea. Take, in fact, this year, Scenario Engine. It's a great idea. I promise you guys, it's a great idea.
Absolutely.
But it's not fully fleshed out. It's not enough impact on your team. It doesn't make that much of a difference. It doesn't, to me, I don't even feel connected to my team because of Scenario Engine, but I know the Scenario Engine can, if used properly, can be something that works very well.
All right, Shop, what else in Madden 20 do you look at and say, man, that's just bad?
Oh man, just the constant patches that just ruin other stuff. I mean, it's like, guys, do y'all even test the code before y'all put it out? I mean, just like somebody just said, I forgot who was just talking, but they just said, yo, they put out this new thing where you can see all the X factors and abilities in your league. And guess what? You go into it and it kicks you out. And you're just like, hold on. Like, y'all just put this out. How did that not make it? How did that go wrong? And so for me, it's just the patches that make other stuff not working, which is why I put out a post saying, hey, look, I know we got a ton of updates, and I give it to them. They put out a ton of updates,
right?
But again, it broke other stuff. And so now everybody's scrambling to see, okay, well, what is broken from the latest patch? And people are afraid of patches now. And that's why at the beginning of the year, you always hear, please don't patch this game. We'll live with what we got, because we already know once it gets patched, it gets worse.
So are you on the no patch gang? Like, are you one of those guys that say just whatever the game comes out when it comes in August, July, whatever, let's just leave it like it is and make everybody learn how to play this game. This is it. We're going to play the whole year with this style. It
depends on the patch. Like, if we had the beta, I love the beta. Everybody loved the beta. And then all of a sudden they patch it. But I want to say this too. A lot of times we don't necessarily play the game a lot to see what's wrong. Like, a lot of people say, oh, look, the running game is so overpowered now because they patched it. No, it was overpowered in the beginning, just nobody ran. Nobody ran until after like the second week of the year.
Yeah, right.
And then everybody's like, oh, wow, running game is like this.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I will caution people on is when they start to, say patches ruined everything. Sometimes it's just not known until after the fact.
All right,
but no, I'm not on the no patch.
And I'm not either, because you got to have stuff that gets patched. You have to.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely on the maybe let's not knee jerk a patch when we see something that's broken. Let's try and fix it. But before we throw a patch in there, let's make sure that this patch is good. Because we saw that same thing last year. We got a patch would come out, and then all of a sudden you could run quarterback sneak the entire way up the field, and you just get an animation to fall forward. Those are things that it's hard as a Madden player to constantly have to relearn a game 8-9 times in a cycle. And that's really what I feel like sometimes we're getting, is that we fix one thing, we break two other things. And so while I definitely think patches are important, because there are bugs in a game that need to be fixed, maybe we just slow down on the patches. And I know that's difficult for EA. They're getting it from all sides. Social media is probably the worst thing that was ever invented. And we see why some guys have stepped away from the social media scene because of the heat that they were getting. But Sweets, give me something that's bad in Madden 20.
Oh man, again, y'all killing me with all the good stuff.
That's my fault. That's my fault. Sweets.
No, you good. I'm on board with the patchwork, man. I just think patches should do what they're supposed to do. Don't put out a 23 gig patch that doesn't patch anything and just messes something else up. So that's one of mine. But I would say pass interferences, man. It has been deciding games.
Yeah,
it's tuned up so much that the offense can push, you know what I mean? Like you can do a lot of jostling and stuff on defense. On offense, but on defense, you can't hardly touch a dude. You go for the ball, pass interference, man. So it's, and I guess we are seeing that in the real life NFL. So I guess, it is what it is. But man, pass interferences and another bad that they said they patched it, so I can't say it's happened to me since. But that field goal kicking meter being gone in the fourth, yeah, that was tough. It affected me in at least two.
Well, tight work pauses the game. He paused the game on tight work. That's how they get that to disappear.
Yeah. Tight was lying when he said that.
Yeah, I made that shit. I made that up.
Speak your mind, tight work. Speak your mind, tight work. Yeah, so definitely some things like that, that are crucial to the game. Definitely not a good thing. All right. Last one for Madden 20, the ugly. And Sweet, since we take everything before we get to you, I'm going to let you go first. What's the ugly in Madden 20?
Okay. We just going to go fumbles, bro. I don't understand how. I think I saw maybe 16 turnovers in one game. Like, that is ridiculous. The fumbles was out of control. Now, I see they've kind of pulled back a little bit on it, but it's still kind of crazy, man. And the fumbles, that's how crazy it was for me. Just the fumbles. And what's ugly is seeing a fumble on the ground, you got a beeline to it, you ain't nobody else around you, and you can't pick it up. So you got to wait for three guys to run over the ball, and then the offensive lineman of the team that fumbled picks it up, and he's down automatically. So that's ugly to me. That's terrible. You know what I mean? I can't stand it, man. And that's mine.
Yeah, and being a card carrying member of the Shop Nation, I've watched a lot of Shop playing Madden on Twitch. And make sure y'all go follow him. We'll let Shop, promote his Twitch and all this stuff at the end. But Shop, was fumbles the issue for you when Madden 20 came out?
No, I don't think it was a real issue. My issue was the CPU hit stick and the constant CPU hit stick. See, I like fumbles in the game. It provides some realistic. I was just not in favor of the CPU hit sticking you every time you got around a CPU player. And the fact that, I showed Clint a clip of Tom Brady hit sticking a defensive tackle who picked up a fumble. And to me, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So I wouldn't necessarily say fumbles was an issue, but I didn't like the hit sticks by the CPU.
Yeah, and my issue with the fumbles was, if I put my running back on conservative.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. That was definitely it right there.
The conservative, in Madden 19, pretty much guaranteed you weren't gonna fumble. Every once in a blue moon maybe, but it really didn't feel like it tuned it at all in Madden 20. I don't know. All right, Shop. What's your ugly for Madden 20?
Oh, my ugly. People would say the run game, but to me, I don't think the run game is that ugly, but it's the ugliest. The one thing that I feel like all they have to do, if you listen to me, any of my streams, I will tell you, all they have to do is add stumbling to the running game. Yep. They add stumbling, half of these people would never run the ball again, because half of these people do not know how to run. They run into the back of their offensive lineman. They keep the same momentum, and then they squirt out to the side and a big run. That's usually how I give up big runs. I never give them up with, or I won't say I never. I hardly ever give them up when they just have a good stick and run through a hole, because I have all the holes cleared up. It's usually when they run into the back of their players, and then I hate the fact that I can trip over my own guy, but they can't trip over their own guy. I saw somebody run. I had two people laying on the ground. He just ran right over me. He didn't try to hurdle. He didn't try to go around them. He just ran right over top of them and never missed a beat. So the run game and the fact that there's bad pursuit angles that's what makes it bad as well. So if pursuit angles were better, it probably wouldn't be an issue. If they tweak the pursuit angles and add stumbling, there wouldn't be an issue.
And Shop, there was talk, maybe on Madden Daily, of a patch coming for the run game. Do you think that's what's coming, as stumbles is getting put back in the game?
I don't think stumbles. I hope stumbles get put back in the game. But yes, Clint actually said it on one of their morning streams that they are looking at the run game and looking to tune it. So I do believe there is a tune coming in for the run game. I just don't know what they're going to do, and I just hope they don't nerf it. That's my only thing. Right. I'm a runner, so I ran last year. I ran before that. And so I want the run game to be good, but come on, just don't nerf the run game, because people don't know how to run, and people don't know how to stop the run. That's really what it is. Especially right before, and I know we're a franchise, but especially right before clubs, to nerf something as big as the run game is before clubs will change the dynamic of the Madden world. And it'll be crazy to see, but all right. My salary cap is made for the run right now.
Right.
So
exactly.
So it definitely is going to hurt.
And you would literally have to go in there and completely change your team over. Yeah. And there'd be a lot of guys that would be in that situation if they do patch the run to where they nerf it. Will be kind of weird to see. All right, tight work. What's your ugly for Madden 20?
Oh man, I'm last, and I'm in a sweet seat. Okay. I got an honorable mention first. How can you run holding R1, two hands on the ball, and lose no speed, no momentum, no agility, no anything? You running like you're wide open with two hands on the ball.
Yeah.
And it seems like you get faster when you do that. That's an ugly for me, part of the piggybacking off the run game.
Yeah.
But my real ugly is I've been a franchise guy for forever since it's been out. I was here during head coach 09, the PlayStation 2 days when the franchise was lit. How can we be this far into this generation and still not have coaching carousel? We have to go ahead and rig our own coaching carousel in a dynasty to make it, usable. How can we not have a coaching carousel this far into this generation?
Hey, sweet.
Tight.
I mean, this is tight. I'm sorry. Tight.
Yeah.
Can you explain because there's going to be people that listen to this that don't know what coaching carousel is. Can you please explain to us how you think coaching carousel is, and what do you think could help? How that could help?
First of all, a coaching tree. Just the coaches progress just like the players, and we need a whole coaching staff that could promote to head coaches depending on how fast they advance with their coaching tree. And coaches get hired, fired, change jobs. If the coach's not winning, he gets fired every year in the NFL. I think this last offseason we had 5 or 6 coaches got fired. But in Madden, the coach doesn't mean anything. Even the skills they have, it really doesn't add anything to the game. You can progress your players and you get 15 points by adding running back package or something. But I want to see it like it was in head coach 09 way. You had the head coach with the coaching tree. They was good in one thing or negative in something else. So if you like to run the ball, you'll get a coach that's specialized in running. So everybody on your team would get better upgrades when it goes towards running the ball and making that team fit that coach. And then you got the passers on the other hand, Bill Belichick. No, cheat check. What is his name, Sweets? I forgot.
Hey, watch your mouth now. Watch your mouth, all right?
Yeah. But just the simplest way to do it is how it was in head coach online. At the end of the season, they get fired, move on. You can hire new coaches, and they got simple trees. They had offensive, defensive coordinators. If we had that, that'd even be legit. We don't even need all the skills.
The crazy part about that is they have a game in their own lineup that does that. Like in the NHL does that.
Yeah, NHL got it now,
and it's more in depth. Like I mean. Hell, you can even go look at MLB, man. I mean, there's plenty of examples of where you can get a little bit more detailed in this stuff. But the crazy part is that what we have is you have a system where we get these legendary points for coaches and stuff. But what does it do? Where do you use it? What does it go towards? Like in franchise, okay, cool. I got I got Bill's part. I got Adam Gates to 20,000 legendary points. Cool. What I'm gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing. It's nothing. It's just cosmetic. It ain't nothing really. It don't serve a purpose. But to have something to where if your coaching gets better, as he gets this XP every week, just like some of these other players do. Well, why not have an offensive defensive coordinator that get the same thing? So when I'm going through rough patches and I'm looking at moving from my coach, I get to go and get Typeworks offensive coordinator, who's he's been working on and who's gotten better, or at least bid for him or see if he, something to where it's more immersive, where you got more control instead of, hey, your coach got a legendary status because you won 2 Super Bowls. Cool. Yeah. What does it mean? Like, what do I do with that? Like, is he a superstar? Do we get an X factor? Like, what? Nothing. It's just there.
Do we help develop players better? None of that. No. What you got for us, Shop? Because it looked like I done opened up a whole can of worms with this one here, boy. I know you got something.
I mean, you're right. Like coaching carousel, and this is again something that frustrates me a lot, is that we give them. They know what the community wants. The 2 things that have been high on the list for the last 3 years are the restructuring of contracts and coaching carousel. Those have been on the top of the list for a lot of wish list stuff that I have done.
Hold up, I don't want to cut you off.
But, go ahead.
So Pro Bowl wasn't up there?
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. I thought Pro Bowl was number 1.
You know what I'm saying?
Pro Bowl. I would say Pro Bowl was definitely top 3, but we got Pro Bowl this year, so.
I want you to know, man. I've talked to a lot of franchises. I've never heard one person say, "Man, I hope I get to play the Pro Bowl this year."
Yeah.
Oh no. I agree, but people want that authenticity.
Right.
But the problem is this. The problem is there are things that are going to sell the game, and there are things that they don't think is going to sell the game. And so that's really what hurts us as a community. And then what hurts us is what I talked about before, just not fleshing out things when you add them. I mean, we got schemes in there, but really what do schemes do? They don't mean anything. There's so much. I did a whole presentation on how they could revamp schemes or add to schemes to just make them better. And it's just amazing that they're not going to do anything, with it. This year we have morale. What does morale do?
That's confidence.
It ain't nothing but confidence.
It's nothing but confidence.
just sprinkled with glitter. But that's all it is.
We not even good glitter either. We don't recognize that, man.
but and it's sort of like when they came out with confidence. I remember sitting at EA in the room, and they were like, "We got a brand new thing we want to show you guys. We hope you like it." And I'm just like, at the time, I'm thinking, "Oh, we're about to get coaching carousel." Or we're about to get something that, the community really wants. And we got daggone confidence. And I was like, I've never heard anybody say they wanted confidence, but that was their big thing for the year. And to me, it was a wasted year because nobody asked for it. It didn't work. Like it was, I could go on, but it's just frustrating.
Yeah. And you know, we've heard them talk about it's about what's on the back cover of the game. It's about what's going to sell it. You know, and it's not about, you know, some of us hardcore CFM guys, those franchise guys that are in it for the authenticity of a true experience. You talked about, you know, contracts. I should be able to go in, you know, with one of my guys and restructure his contract. That should have been in Madden 16, 17. I mean, that's an everyday part of the NFL. And we still don't see that. We still don't see where we can backload a contract or we can turn it into a bonus versus, you know, guaranteed money. I mean, it's just, it's one of those things that I know we've been asking for in the Dynasty for a long time. I know Shop's been pushing it. And so that's really an ugly part for me is some of the things that we've asked for that we still just don't see in the game, that we feel is a key part of the game. Go ahead, Ty.
How about this one? Progressive injuries.
Yes.
Like they had in the head coach line. Oh,
yep.
You do spring an ankle week 1. He got to play on that sprained ankle all. Did I say it right? I'm kind of country right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
But he got to play on that all season long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, he get a shoulder stinger. That shows up every week until you take time to get him off so he can get healthy.
Yeah.
Just little stuff like that. That was already an EA game.
That's considered new. How about draft stories? Like, who can't write? I know dudes who would probably do it for free, but I'm talking about like a few more draft stories. Like we don't get. You literally get like what 6 draft stories a year, and they all the same crap. Like why is there not a whole segment around the combine? Where you just have a bunch of stories about the combine or something.
Heisman Trophy winner.
How hard is this? It's so crazy that the draft stories get little to no attention, and every year they almost the same thing in same amounts. The only thing that I remember used to change was, when you draft somebody, they tell you it's a reach or not. That's it. Like what? I mean, give me a story. Give me a backstory on these guys. You know, it's crazy.
Well, you do know that the latest patch added more better stories.
I haven't seen not one in all 3 of my leagues, so I'm gonna definitely be testing that.
Hey, how about the one when the receiver won the Heisman Trophy and then he played corner?
Yeah.
But I just a few stories would not hurt, man. And it's cats that would get up here like and write more on Twitter every day. The more stories than they do, like they would do that for free.
I mean, look, the community is full of ideas. I mean, I looked at Operation Sports the other day, and there's a whole thread of scenarios that they could put in the game.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's I just don't understand why they don't use the community more.
What is it copyrighted if they do?
Nah, I don't think so.
Because it's volunteer.
And again, I know people would do it for free.
Yeah. That Deuce Douglas put up a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if they implemented it or not. He's a game changer now, so we'll see.
They have all of that stuff.
I think one of my ugly things, and this was something I wanted to see after last year, even in 17, was I don't think the practice in CFM, it really doesn't mean anything. It's really a sim for me every single time. It doesn't teach me anything about who I'm playing, their tendencies, nothing. And we've seen that before in Madden, where you could go in and you actually worked on things that the team you were going up against, they went to. It was their go-to stuff. And so right now, it's just, let me get to a goal, let me sim it real quick so I can get to my game. And so I think...
Do you remember 2K when they had the profile?
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Do you remember where we used to have the practice where you could practice your 2-minute drill or a full game if you wanted to?
Yep.
You know what would have been so nice is it since you roll out this the clock, the running clock rule, you know, now that you have this clock where they can just come up to the line and it'll take out the amount of time that it's supposed to or whatever. Why not put a 2-minute drill in the practice so that guys can get used to that? Because
Hey, do you
That
Or
remember
was-
this?
why not put, when you go to random plays, put what play that was actually called?
Yeah.
So it helps somebody who's trying to learn how to read defenses guess right. Like if I face a defense, I say, okay, I think this is a cover 3. Then I run the play, and then it actually tells you what play that
Right.
the defense called.
Hey,
Oh,
how
you
about
mean-
this one?
I mean, besides the cover 0 blitz and my defense runs against my offense every single time.
Hey, y'all remember this when you can export your CFM team and play with them offline and head to head against other people in your franchise? When you used to export your roster, y'all remember that?
Yep.
That was nice.
Oh, why did they take that away? What reason?
But I
You know
mean,
what?
just little stuff, man.
That's what they could have
And-
used for
and
practice
that's-
mode.
And you know, guys, every time we do this show, and we always spend the most time on ugly. We always do. We always spend the most time on ugly. And I think that's just the nature of the beast at this point. But we got to give a grade. Guys, you got to give me a grade. Just like in school, you got an A, B, a C, a D, or an F. And I'm fine with, if you want to go A minus, B plus, all that good stuff. And so I'm gonna start with the OG Shopmaster. All right, what grade do you give Madden 20 at this point right now?
Oh my goodness. Again, I enjoy Madden. I would give it a C plus.
Tight work.
I'm gonna go from a college. I'm gonna give it an incomplete. They didn't finish the course. They gave me a whole bunch of stuff that I was used to and made it look a little better. Gameplay is a little better, but that's
Man,
about it.
gave him
I
an
don't-
eye.
Yeah, it's incomplete, man. Because I
Gave
don't
him
know
an eye.
what-
Said go back and try again.
Yeah, 'cause, hey, we got about 3 more patches coming out. Oh,
We'll get to that try again here in a second. All right,
Yeah.
Sweets 99, give me a grade.
All right, man. So I gotta do this coming from the terrible Madden 19. So I go B plus.
Wow.
I enjoy the gameplay that much. It's just they got a little bit more to get to an A for me. But man,
Yeah.
at least it's better than 19.
is that hard?
And that's exactly how I feel.
It's definitely better than 19.
Because
and
19 was so bad that I give him a little love and give him a B plus.
So 19 was bad, and I definitely feel 20 is better. And I know I gave 19 a failing grade, but I'm kind of with Shop here. I think they're in that C category, C plus, C minus. I still think they've got work to do. And the good thing is, we got some good guys at EA. I think a lot of times they take a lot of heat, but Swami, you got Krello, you got, even guys like Clint, they really want this game to be great. They really do. And it's just, they got a battle. They got an uphill battle. And so, we wish them the best. But one more segment. All right. This is your wish list. If you could have one thing in Madden 21, what would it be, Shop?
You putting
And
me
I say
first
one,
again?
but you could give me one or two. You could give me one or two.
If I can have one thing, hey, that's hard. There's so many things. All right,
I
for
know.
franchise, give commissioners more control over their leagues. Like, give them all the options that you can do for house rules and stuff. Give the commissioner all the options, meaning let them be able to set, how many people can be released. Let them set, whatever. Like, there's so many commissioners that come to me and say, yo, Shop, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this with my league? It's my league. Like, let me be able to control it the way I want to control it. So,
Right.
I mean, look, I know you guys are going to come up with some of these other features and stuff. So I'm going to shout out to all my commissioners out there
No
who
doubt.
just want better control over their league.
All right, Shop. Well, you live on both sides of the coin, though. So on the mutt side, if you could have one thing in Madden 21,
On the mud side? Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. I have no idea on the mud side for real. Like, this is my first year, like, really, really, really getting into mud. But just balance. That's really all. I think we all just want balance. Just nothing to be overpowered, nothing to be nerfed. Just balance. There should be a counter for everything. And so that's what I want. You know, I like some of their promos, like this Most Feared that's about to come out and the Mud Heroes. Those are probably the two best promos all year, in my opinion. And I like those. So, I mean, I wish franchise could be like Mutt, just new content every week. Like that would be so awesome. I mean, they put franchises on a live server, so they're able to update franchise whenever they want now with certain stuff. And so I want to see that. I want to see them add more content. I don't know. I don't know what
a player goes off in the regular season, and you know that player gets boosted. I mean, it's just, you know,
I don't know about that, because if you tell me if you're in a 32-man league and let's say AP goes down and Chris Thompson has a stretch where he is just like the man, 150 yards each game, rushing and passing. Do you, even though you're not?
No. What I'm saying is, like, let's say in the franchise, you have a player on your team that just goes off. I mean, he just balls out, right? Yeah. Right now, he's just getting regular XP. Nothing special happening to that guy.
Well, no. Sometimes if he goes off, he'll get a dynamic, you know, ability to go up a level.
A scenario.
Yeah, through a scenario.
The scenarios are so. I mean, we've seen so few and far between.
That's a
okay. But what I'm saying is, do you really want everybody that goes off to be able to have a scenario where
I wouldn't say like one game, but if you have a player that, and we can take certain examples, like
you play Flair.
Let's take Flair, a guy that's 0 in the league, didn't win a game. His guys are still balling. I mean, Aaron Donald's still. I mean, you know, that's where I thought morale was going to play a part. Like, if you're on an 0-16 team, 0-15-1 team, Aaron Donald's not balling. He's not coming out and trying his hardest every single play. Like, that's not going to happen. But then you got a guy like Darius Geis for the Redskins, who had a MVP type season and never got a scenario.
Oh, he got one. Yeah, got one.
Okay, he had one.
Yeah.
The guy is going to, you know, top 3 in the league in rushing. I mean, those are the things, like, I love the scenario engine. I just didn't think it was frequent enough. And I'm not saying
it definitely is.
Yeah.
That would be my thing. Just the scenario engine needs to pop up a little bit more frequently, especially in a 32-man league. You know, guys would be able to say, "Man, I missed my scenario," or "Hey, man, I had another scenario this week." And it really's just been like, did anybody get a scenario this week? And, you know, then the crickets start. And so that would be something I would love to see for Madden.
It's universal, though, man, because Coach Mode gets a lot more than Owner Mode. So we don't get as much as Coach Mode does, too. So
yeah,
that Coach Mode gets boost almost every other week off of certain things, whether you win, lose, or slow down a player or not. So we're missing out on some of those things just because they haven't put it into Owner Mode like they do Coach Mode. So
yeah, you only get the upgrade in Owner's Mode.
Yeah, I noticed that from league to league.
Yeah, and even then though, I feel like some of the scenarios are just they're inconsequential. Like, it's like, oh, hey, you're going against Aaron Donald. Don't allow him to have a sack, and you'll get like 100 XP or something.
Yeah,
like,
it's the equivalent of an extra practice, really. But that's all it is, because you don't get a whole lot of significance. It's more like an extra practice.
But see, I want to see scenario mode go where it's like ongoing. Like, you do have scenarios where somebody is mentoring somebody. I need that to be like every week. That's a storyline throughout like a 3-week stretch. But a lot of these scenarios are just 1 week in that moment against your opponent. It's really not. Most of the scenarios not even like within the team. It's that opponent. What are you going to do with that opponent?
Oh, yeah. Like the one when you're not getting the ball enough, and then he's hurt, and he's still complaining that he didn't get the ball enough.
Yeah. Or he balls out. He gets 5 catches for 150 yards, but because he didn't get 7, it didn't click.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, my dude balled out. He had He had 6 catches for 150 plus yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
because he didn't get 10 catches.
Right. And he needed 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he needed
Right.
3 touchdowns. Oh man.
Yeah, they need to flush that out some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Mr. 99, Mr. Sweets 99. You get one wish for Madden 21. What you getting?
All right, mine's pretty simple. Just the way the NFL is basically made a spectacle of the draft and the combine process and all this stuff that leads up to this big time stuff, they need to overhaul the draft. They need to overhaul the story. It shouldn't be in your 32-man league where guys are more hype about the offseason than they are about the season sometimes. So if they're gonna be, if we playing this from, we playing this from Madden to Madden. Keep us in it, man. The offseason, make the offseason something nice. We go through these stretches where, okay, cool, we scouting, but what does it mean? Like, give us some extra on the scouting. Like, just overhaul that. You have some of these games that they have NHL and MLB and different things like that. You have a whole year-long process where you finding out how these guys are, how these prospects look, different things. And so I just feel like they need to overhaul it, man. Just make it more appealing. The whole draft presentation, that where they got the whole podium thing, man. Okay, that was like putting glitter over crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you took away the whole draft list, so you can't even see whoever the person that was drafted in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just bring back the whole immersion. Yeah, bring it all back, man. I mean, bring some life into the draft and some life into the combine process. I mean, that's a huge thing for guys.
Right.
I agree. All right, Mr. Tight Work.
Oh, that's what's up. I was waiting on it. Hey, I was a Walt Disney fan, so my wishes might not come true. But hey, I'm gonna say, man. At first, I was gonna say, give me head coach 09. You know what I'm saying? Just make that the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Let the gameplay guys debate all that. The gameplay has gotten better, so I can live with the gameplay. Give me head coach 09, but I'm gonna say NHL. Because everything that they added in NHL, just put that in Madden. The coaching carousel, the scouting, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I will be happy. I will be happy to give you my $60 a year. And if it costs more for that, just the app to make it work, I'll put in whatever, $5 or $10 more. You know what I mean? Just give me NHL franchise mode in Madden.
Let me. Can I interrupt real quick? Because I ask this every time I go on one of these shows. Would you guys, if they gave you like head coach 09 stuff, would you pay an extra $10 for that package?
Bro, we already paid
$70 for the game?
Game early, bro. we pay extra to have the game a week early. And I don't even play MUT. I can't stand MUT. I'll give you extra 30 if you just say, hey, I'm putting in head coach whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, okay. I will pay more. I will pay right now.
All right. I
turn in my MUT coins. Like, look, you can have it.
Yeah. Hey, right, but NHL, just the news that I heard about NHL, give us that, and I'll pay more for that. They coach in carousel. The coaches get fired. They develop their players different. All that in the 32-man league would be legit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got 2, and since I'm the host, I get to have 2. So the first one, Shop touched on it a little bit earlier, was I want EA to listen to the community and the things that we truly have asked for over the past 5 years. I want to see some of those things put in the game. And I understand people think they did that when they put the Pro Bowl in. And I'm involved in 3 different leagues, and I've yet to see a user come in the chat and be like, man, I can't wait for the Pro Bowl. Because it gives you a matchup. So everybody in your league gets matched up during the Pro Bowl week and can play. In 2 of the leagues I'm in, we've already been through 2 seasons. We just sim that week. Like, it's really not that important to anybody. But if they would put coaching carousel in, if they'd put contract extensions in, if they would put a real practice mode in, those are the things that this community would and I think would pay extra for those kind of bonuses as far as in the CFM. But the one thing I really would love to see is I want to see a full immersion app. to where I can do everything for my football team when I'm not in front of my console except play the game. I should be able to set the roster. I should be able to look at the injury report, free agency. I should be able to make trades. I should be able to do everything that my console can do except play the game.
Get our play.
What? I mean, you can buy an app, sure. I'm talking about the EA companion app. That's what I want to see.
Right.
And so that would be my wish list.
Put you on that.
I wish that would be my wish list for Madden 20. All right. Tight work, Sweets. Always a pleasure when I get the boys from Numbers Don't Lie. I know the host of Numbers Don't Lie would love to have been on the show, but he had other things to do. But, man, I appreciate you two guys jumping on, especially when I got a guy like Shopmaster getting on with us.
Sir.
Cool.
All right, Shop. Man, I anytime that I hit you up, man, you're so quick to say, man, let's do it. Let's work on it. And that's, that's why for someone in this community, I got so much respect for a guy like you, who's been around such a long time, that understands this community probably more than anybody else, but just willing to help us out when we got stuff going on. So take a minute and let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter, on Twitch, and just go support the homie Shop.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you asking me to be on. Appreciate everybody that was on tonight. The great conversation. I love talking Madden, love talking franchise. But you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/ShopmasterTV. And then you can also follow me on Twitter @ShopMaster. So those are the places where you can get at me. And every Monday at 7, I have a community franchise interactive show where the chat gave me the Miami Dolphins. They picked my coach. They picked players. I come up with different scenarios that are not in the game, and we have a lot of fun. So come join me every Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the franchise community interactive show.
Yeah, definitely something you guys want to check out. Was funny when you got the Dolphins. Wasn't your pick.
It wasn't my pick. I was not happy.
Yeah, was not happy. Were you hoping they would pick the Redskins for you?
I don't know. I'm bittersweet because if I know if I got the Redskins, there would be players that I would be definitely tied to, and I know the chat loves. I have a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans in my chat, yep. So I know they would love to just screw me over, and they try. So we're gonna have fun tomorrow. I think we're gonna spin the CFM wheel. If you've never seen the CFM wheel, come check that out. And there's polls. We do polls. I try to do polls during the whole show, and that will dictate how the franchise goes.
Yep. Make sure y'all are tuned into that. Twitch.com. I'm on twitch.tv/ShopmasterTV, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You guys do not want to miss that. A lot of franchise guys in there. Have a good time, especially when Shop gets to play some Madden live. So make sure you tune in for that. And then if you need him on Twitter, @ShopMaster. Always a guy that will answer back, have a conversation with you, which is why he's so respected in this community. But that's going to be it for the grind. The good, the bad, the ugly here for Madden 20. On behalf of the DML Network, it's your boy Expert, and we out.
Peace.